بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله يجتبي إليه من يشاء ويهدي إليه من ينيب صدق الله العظيم. We had discussed over 2 sessions in regards to what is jadb and how Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala makes jadb of a person, how Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala pulls a person and makes him his beloved. This is one system of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And the other system of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is where a person, he makes a little bit of effort. And after making a little bit of effort, now and then he might fall also, he might fall into error also. But eventually Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala pulls that person also, and Allah Ta'ala gives hidayat to that person. And once a person, he gets this hidayat from the side of Allah, Allah has pulled him, Allah has chosen him, this person is never ever rejected again in the court of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. He will always be accepted in the court of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. It is mentioned there was one Hindu person, and this Hindu person, he was worshipping his idols. So whole day he used to call these idols and say sanam, sanam, sanam. In Arabic, the word sanam means idol. So he used to say sanam, 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 and he used to call the idols. So one day it so happened Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala made his tongue twist a little bit. And this is also the system of Allah. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala makes it such. So he changed it, and instead of saying sanam, he said samad. When he said the samad, what is the meaning of samad? Al-mustaghni an kulli ahad. That being that is independent from everyone. Allah is not in need of anyone. وَالْمُحْتَاجُ إِلَيْهِ كُلُّ أَحَدٍ. And everyone is muhtaj, and everyone is in need of Allah Ta'ala. Every split second of our life in need of the rahmat of Allah, of the mercy of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. A person is driving his car, and whilst he's driving his car, for one moment the rahmat of Allah Ta'ala is just lifted from that car of his. Finished. There's an accident that takes place. Yesterday we came out here from the Isha Salah. We just came out from Isha Salah, we hardly reached the robot, and one bucky, it completely flipped. The entire bucky flipped right in front of us. So one moment that rahmat of Allah Ta'ala is removed, finished. There's a huge accident that takes place. Our body, it is functioning with the rahmat of Allah, the mercy of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. When a person, he breaks the law of Allah, one moment that rahmat of Allah Ta'ala has to be removed and finished. There is a heart attack that is taking place, or there's some other complication that has taken place. Now a person has to be taken to hospital. So we dependent of the rahmat of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So this person, one day he said samad, that Allah Ta'ala is independent, Allah is bare niyaz. There the sound came, the voice came, that labbaik ya abdi, oh my servant, I'm here, I'm present. When he heard the sound, that idol that was in front of him, he started hitting that idol. And he hit it till the point that he broke the idol. When he broke the idol, he gathered all the Hindu people. He says, come here and stand in front of me. So when the Hindu people came and they stood there, he said, see, for 90 years, I was worshipping this idol. And in 90 years, this idol never ever responded to me even once. This idol is deaf also, it is dumb also, it is blind also. Never responded to me in 90 years. One day, in error also, I took the name of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala and I said Samad, and Allah Ta'ala said, I'm here, O my servant. And immediately he brought iman upon Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So this is that rahmat of Allah. When Allah pulls a person, Allah makes jadb. Even that Hindu person, Allah Ta'ala can make jadb of him also. That person that can be the enemy of the Muslims. Whole life is against the Muslims. But at the time of maut, if Allah wants to make jadb of him, Allah wants to pull that person, he will become the beloved of Allah. Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi Rahmatullah alayhi, in his Matnawi Sharif, he has written a particular incident. He says that there was a shepherd that used to go out into the jungles and used to graze his goats every day. He was a simple-minded person, shepherd, what qualification he's got and what education he got. But he had the love of Allah Ta'ala in his heart. So according to his mental capacity, according to his understanding, he used to also communicate with Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So every day when he used to be sitting out there in the jungle, it is mentioned, he used to say, oh Allah, why don't you come down? If you come down, at least I can serve you. And then he used to say, oh Allah, that my goats are all over here, they're running around this mountain. If you come down to this mountain, I'll sweep the mountain for you. And I'll let you sit on this mountain, O Allah. I'll press your hands for you, Allah. I'll press your feet for you, Allah. All this now, he's communicating and he's telling Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And then he tells Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala that, Allah, when you come down and you are seated over here, then I'll milk my goats. And fresh milk I will give you to drink. And this fresh milk, I will then mix it up with flour. And I will make for you fresh roti. And I'll give you roti to eat, O Allah. And Allah, you must be so tired that you have to look after the entire makhluk, the entire creation you are taking care of. Ya Allah, I'm sure you don't have time to even comb your hair. I'll comb your hair for you. And whatever lice is in your hair, I'll remove that lice also. So Mullah Jalaluddin Rumi Rahmatullahi says that whilst this person one day, every day, this was his communication with Allah. One day whilst he's talking to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in this way, Musa alayhi salam passes. Musa alayhi salam got angry with him. He said, what are you talking? This is kufr what you are saying. You have lost your iman. Allah Ta'ala is that being, laysa kamithlihi shay. There is nothing like Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Allah doesn't have a human form. Allah doesn't have a body like how we have a body. So what are you saying that Allah Ta'ala must come down and Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala must sit here? And you're saying Allah has hands. Allah doesn't have hands like us. And Allah doesn't have feet like how we have feet. And you're saying you're going to feed Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala roti and you're going to give Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala milk. Allah doesn't have a stomach like how we have a stomach. How is He going to eat roti and drink milk? And you are saying that you're going to comb the hair of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Where does Allah have a head and where does Allah Ta'ala have hair? So now Musa alayhi salam got angry with him. So this person now he became despondent. When he became despondent, he started crying. He ran away from there. So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala then inspired Musa alayhi salam. Said, oh Musa, that banda of mine, that servant of mine, he used to talk to me. I used to enjoy this so much. You chased him away. Go and look for him now. And bring him back and let him continue speaking to me like how he used to speak to me. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam realized that this person also had great love of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So Musa alayhi salam went in search of him. After looking for him, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam found him. And Musa alayhi salam brought him. Here let us understand what Musa alayhi salam did was 100% in order. He didn't do anything that was wrong. Why? Because Musa alayhi salatu wasalam had to act upon the injunctions and the commands of Sharia. And the command of Sharia is Allah Ta'ala doesn't have a body like how we have a body. You cannot treat Allah Ta'ala and you communicate with Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in this manner. But why did Allah Ta'ala then reprimand Musa alayhi salatu wasalam? Allah Ta'ala reprimanded Musa alayhi salam because Allah Ta'ala wanted to give a lesson to Musa alayhi salam. Musa, if you want to reprimand somebody, you want to make the Islam, you want to correct the life of somebody, then there's a procedure to follow also. There's a way that you should follow when you're making the Islam of a person and you're correcting the life of a person. That first you will go to that person and let your love enter the heart of that person. When your love is going to enter into the heart of that person, once he loves you, after that, whatever you're going to tell that person, then he's going to do it for you. So you must have affection first for a person, not just come to a person, this is wrong what you are doing, this is haram what you are doing, this you shouldn't be doing. No, don't use this approach. But become soft to the person, affectionate to the person, and then see how that person will change his life. Hazrat Hakim Saheb Rahmatullahi used to say, Akrimu awladakum wa ahsinu adabahum. That your awlad, your children, what we normally say, that the children must respect their parents, 100% in order. That is actually the rule. But Hazrat used to say, Akrimu awladakum. That your children, honor your children also. Wa ahsinu adabahum. And teach them good etiquettes and good adab as well. Maulana Rafiq Haturani Saheb, Damat Barakatum, his father Maulana Ahmad Haturani. When Maulana Rafiq Saheb and his brother, they completed Hifz of the Quran, their father was a senior alim. But what he used to do, when they completed Hifz of the Quran, he had so much of respect for them, he honored them so much, that he used to he's an alim, but they completed Hifz, but he will open the car door for them, and he will tell them to sit down. That is the respect that he gave them. So our children, we must respect them also. We must give them, not respect them, but rather give them honor also sometimes. And in this way, we will win our children. There are times where we need to be strict also. There are times where we will have to, we shouldn't spare the rod also. So there's a place and a time for everything. So a child, when he's doing something wrong, at that time we should teach the child. Many a times the children, they show so much of disrespect to their mothers. How many a times the children, they speak just how they want to speak with their mothers. So at that time, the father, it's his job, it's his responsibility that correct the child. This is not the way to speak to your mother. Respect your mother, speak to your mother in this way. Or the child sometimes is disrespectful to the ustad. At that time, it is the job of the father. Ahsinu adabam, teach him good adab, teach him good etiquette, that this is the way that you should speak. But what happens nowadays? For example, the child did something wrong. The father told the child, go and bring the glass for me. So the child went to fetch the glass. When he's bringing the glass to the father, he dropped the glass. Now he made a big mess in the house. Now the mother is angry because she has to clean the mess. So what does the father do now in return? He tells the child, you're like a donkey. You're so stupid. You can't even bring one glass straight for me also. Even that much you can't do. So that is how the father is commenting. Now that words, these words that are coming out for his child, you're a stupid, you're an idiot. You can't even do this much straight. You're so useless. Many a time we say this. This is now a badua for that child. And if that's the time of qabuliyah, if that's the time of acceptance, and it gets accepted, later on we will regret in our life. So as I said, ahsinu adabam, teach them good etiquette. Sitting next time, hold the glass properly. See now, look at the mess that you made. Now we have to clean up all this. So teach the child etiquette. As the Hakim Saheb Rahmatullah Alayhi says that my father, he had so much of love for me, so much of love for me. When I was a small boy, I was learning secular, I was in secular education. At that time he was about 10 years old. But he says, although I was 10 years old, he says, my father at that age used to call me Maulvi Saheb. See, what came out of his mouth for his son? Maulvi Saheb. Sometimes we can call our child Mufti Saheb, or you call him whatever, Alim of Deen, Hafiz Saheb, whatever. That is the time of acceptance. In the court of Allah is accepted. Your child will become that Hafiz Saheb. He will become Maulvi Saheb. He will become Mufti Saheb. Whatever you are calling him, he will become that. No problem. If a person, somebody is not his child is not a Mufti Saheb, but he's saying Mufti Saheb, that is as dua for that child. I want this child to become this. So he used to call him Maulvi Saheb. He said later on that he was in Allahabad. He was studying in Allahabad. And his father was living in Sultanpur. So two different places. Now to come from Allahabad to come to Sultanpur, they used to take a train. Now he was studying there secular education. So he would write to his father that I am studying, and at a certain time, maybe 1.5 months time, I will be coming home. It is mentioned his father had so much of love for him, so much of love for him, that when it used to be 1 month left, he used to go to his wife. The father would go to Hazrat Hakim Saheb's mother, in other words. He used to go to his wife and he used to tell his wife that now I'm counting the days. When is my son coming? And then he used to tell his wife that give me surma. Let me put surma in my eyes. So when my son comes, I'll be able to see my son properly also. So let me put surma in my eyes. And the day that the train used to arrive, it's mentioned that he used to go to the railway station. And all the compartments that were there, he would, like a crazy person, like an insane person, he's running from compartment to compartment to go and look for his son. When his son would be received by him, he would bring him home. And then he used to fill in those days they used to have a bucket bath. Today many people use the shower, but many still have the bucket bath also. And that is closest to sunnah. When a person sits and he takes a bath, then the satar of a person is covered. And when a person is standing, then the satar of a person is exposed. So it is better always that a person, he sits down and he takes his ghusl in that particular way. So he used to fill the bucket of water for his son. Hazrat Hakim Saheb, 10 years old, and he's filling the bucket of water. And then he used to hold him and massage him. So Hazrat used to hold his hand and he used to say, oh my father, what are you doing for me? That I'm supposed to be making your khidmat. I'm supposed to be doing all this for you. And you're doing all this for me? He used to say, oh my son, where can your hands reach your back? How are you going to massage your back? So in this way, he said, I only have one son. Hazrat Hakim Saheb said later, he said, when the father shows this amount of affection for his son, he says that, do you think that after that father leaves the world, that son will ever forget that father? Every day du'as will come out of the heart of that son for his father till the point that he lives. So this is that love, this is that affection a person should have for his children also. Children should also, on the other side, they must know what is the position of their parent. Make khidmat of their parents, serve their parents, do all that for their parents. So as it mentioned, a very, very important usul over here. Don't just go and correct a person, but first let his love come into the heart. As Mullah Thanwi Rahmatullah said, in my khanka, many people come to my khanka. When they come to my khanka, Hazrat says that I don't just correct anybody, I don't make islah of anybody. First, I interact with that person. When that person now starts loving me, now I see something is not right. Now I will go up to him and tell him, brother, that this is not right. Or that is not right. This needs to be rectified. Hazrat was strong on his principles and his usul, that he will rectify people if they done anything wrong. But first, the love had to be instilled in the heart. When the love was instilled, now, no problem. Now correct that person. Happily he is going to accept it. One occasion we heard that Mullah Thanwi Rahmatullah Alayhi, one person, he was wearing his trouser below the ankle. So Mullah Thanwi Rahmatullah told him at that time, he said that, see, this is not correct. You must pick up your trouser. Otherwise, a person is regarded as a fasik. He's wearing his trouser below his ankle. So that person, he got angry. When he got angry, what he did? He swore the Sharia. Mullah Thanwi Rahmatullah said, see, he was wearing his pants below the ankle. He was doing guna, he was doing a sin. But his iman was intact. But when I corrected him, because I didn't know the person, I corrected him. I did the right thing. But what happened? He lost his iman because he swore Sharia. From that day, Mullah Thanwi Rahmatullah he took an oath. He said that I won't correct any person that I don't know. When I know the person, then I will correct that person. In the time of Hazrat Ji, Maulana Ilyas Saheb Rahmatullah, when he was in Nizamuddin, there was one person by Yamin Saheb. He was on the other side of Nizamuddin. So he used to come to the Markaz, horse and cart in those days, he used to come to the Markaz. So he never had a beard. But Hazrat Ji Maulana Ilyas Saheb Rahmatullah left him, he never worried about him. After some time, he saw this person is punctual. He comes to the Markaz all the time. So Mullah Ilyas Sahib rahmatullah said, maybe now I should correct him. So what Hazrat did? All he did, he took his hand and he put it here on his chin. And he said that how nice if you can grow the beard. Finished. That person got upset. So when he got upset, he left, he went away from the markaz. So Mullah Ilyas Sahib rahmatullah regretted so much at that time. He said, oh ho, thande tawa par roti daldi. That on the cold tawa, I put the roti now. And when the tawa is cold and you're going to put the roti, it's going to get squashed up. But when the tawa is nice and hot, just put a little bit of ghee and now throw that roti. Just a couple of times turn it around and you got fresh roti to eat. So he said, thande tawa par roti daldi. And later on, he sent people, bring him back, ask him for forgiveness, but please come back to the markaz. Then the person came back to the markaz. Mullah Ilyas Sahib rahmatullah, one of the kitabs I read, he said that I don't make islah of any person. I don't correct any person. Or he said, don't correct any person. यहाँ तक के वो अपने जूते को, वो अपने जोते को चपाती से समझे. Don't correct a person until he regards your shoes to be chapati, to be like roti. Meaning that even if a person, if you have to tell him these shoes of mine, these are chapati, this is roti, he must be able to accept it. When he comes to that stage, now you should make islah of that person and correct that person. This is exactly what Maulana Rumi rahmatullah alayh has written in his Masnawi Sharif. Hazrat Maulana Qasim Sahib Nanotwi rahmatullah alayh, it is mentioned there was a Pathan person. So this Pathan, he used to come every Friday to the home of Maulana Nanotwi rahmatullah alayh. And he used to take ghusl at the home of Maulana Nanotwi rahmatullah alayh. He used to bring his clothing, come here, take ghusl, and then he used to put on his clothing and then go to the masjid for Jumu'ah with Maulana Nanotwi rahmatullah alayh. So his clothing that he used to wear, it was against Sharia. It was not in accordance to Sharia. But Maulana Nanotwi rahmatullah never ever corrected him. Now the Pathan, you can't just tell the Pathan that stop this and now do this. This is right. So Maulana Nanotwi rahmatullah thought to himself that how am I going to correct this person? I need to correct him also, and I don't want him to go away from here also. So Maulana Nanotwi rahmatullah thought to himself, and then he told him, see, next Friday when you're coming to take a ghusl, I want you to bring 2 sets of clothing. The clothing that you're wearing, bring 2 sets. 1 set you wear and 1 set I will wear. And we'll both go for Jummah for Salah together. Now the Pathan started thinking. And what he said that, look at the clothing that I'm wearing. This is the clothing of disobedience of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. This is the clothing that the transgressors wear. So I can't wear this clothing. Maulana Nanotwi rahmatullah, I can't wear this clothing. So what am I going to do? So he told Maulana Nanotwi rahmatullah, he said, Hazrat, next week when I come, then you give me 1 set of yours. I'll wear your set, and you also wear the same set, and we'll both go for Jummah together. So Maulana Nanotwi rahmatullah, his work was done. Now he gave him that 1 set of clothing. When he gave him, both of them wore the same set of clothing. And now they went for Jummah Salah. When he went for Jummah Salah, he made tawbah to Allah, that I'll never wear those clothing again. The clothing that Maulana gave me, that is the clothing that I'm going to wear. And from that day, he started wearing that clothing. So sometimes a person needs to use a lot of hikmah, a lot of wisdom, and correct the situation. Our ulama also mentioned that when these talks are taking place of jazb, the pull of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, that Allah will pull a person in that gathering, immediately start making dua to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. In that gathering in your heart, you don't even have to move your tongue. Just make dua. Allah, you pull me, make jazb of me, my wife, my children, my family, all of them, make dua for everyone. In that gathering, Allah will pull that person. Hazrat Zakaria alayhi salatu wasalam, when he used to go to visit Hazrat Maryam radiallahu ta'ala anha, when he used to go to visit her, at that time when she was in Baytul Muqaddas, وَجَدَ عِنْدَهَا رِزْقًا, he would find by Hazrat Maryam radiallahu ta'ala anha, he used to find sustenance. Unseasonal fruit, here he used to find by Maryam radiallahu ta'ala anha. So he asked Hazrat Maryam radiallahu ta'ala anha, أَنَّا لَكِ هَذَا, how you get this? She said, هُوَ مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ, this is from the side of Allah. Allah gives rizq to whomsoever He wants without any reckoning. It is mentioned at that time, Hazrat Zakaria alayhi salatu wasalam realized the qudrat of Allah. That Allah Ta'ala, what is not seasonal, Allah can give you that. I'm an old man, I don't have any children. Allah can give me children also. What he did, he didn't waste time. There and there he got onto the musalla. And there and there he started making namaz and making dua to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala for children. فَنَادَتْهُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ وَهُوَ قَائِمٌ يُصَلِّي فِي الْمِحْرَابِ. Allah Ta'ala said, Allah Ta'ala called unto him, أَنَّ اللَّهُ يُبَشِّرُكَ بِيَحْيَا. Allah gives you glad tidings. You're going to have a son, and we're going to give you his name also. His name is going to be Yahya. مُصَدِّقًا بِكَلِمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ. He will testify to the kalima of Allah. Meaning the kalima of Allah is Isa alayhi salam. He will testify to the nubuwwat of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. أن الله يبشرك بيحيى مصدقا بكلمة من الله وسيدا وحسورا. He will be a leader also. He will be chaste also. وَنَبِيًّا مِّنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. And he will be from amongst the righteous Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam as well. So he didn't hesitate. He made the dua. When he made the dua, in spite of everything being against him, that dua got accepted. We think that certain things are impossible. Just make the dua in that gathering and see the effect and the consequence of that dua. Maulana Inamul Hasan Sahib rahmatullahi, we learned that Maulana Inamul Hasan Sahib rahmatullahi used to say, any person got a problem, come and sit in the middle of the gathering. And quietly when the bayan is taking place, in the middle of the gathering, just make dua to Allah Ta'ala in your heart. And whatever dua you will make at that time in your heart, Allah Ta'ala will fulfill that need, and whatever problem you have, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will remove your problem. Mullah Ali Qari rahmatullahi, I'll finish on this. Mullah Ali Qari rahmatullahi said that Inna Rahma tanzilu in the dhikri salihin. That the rahmat of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, this descends when the salihin are mentioned. We're just talking of budruks, we're nowhere near them. We desire Allah brings us to that stage, and Allah takes us higher than that also. But just by mentioning the salihin, the rahmat of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is descending. Fadlan an wujudihim. Leave alone their presence. If they have to be present over here, what is the anwarat? What is the noor of budruks? When they are there, really, when they are there, you'll see a different environment altogether. And you see them leaving that gathering and they're gone, you see all that anwarat, all that noor also is gone. So when the salihin are mentioned and the rahmat of Allah is descending, at that time make dua and our dua will be accepted. Allah Ta'ala give us all tawfiq, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وبارك وسلم. فاذكروني أذكركم أنا جليس من ذكرني. दिल मेरा हो जाए एक मैदान हो, तू ही तो हो, तू ही तो हो, तू ही तो हो. और मेरे तन में बजाए आप वगिल. दर्द दिल हो, दर्द दिल हो, दर्द दिल. गैर से बिल्कुल उठ जाए नजर. तू ही तो आए नजर देखूं जिधर. ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह मुहम्मदुर रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम. ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह, 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 ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह मुहम्मदुर रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम. इलाही दिल में मेरे गैर का असर न रहे, सिवाय तेरे किसी पर मेरी नजर न रहे. तू कर बेखबर सारी खबरों से मुझको. इलाही रहूं एक खबरदार तेरा. ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह, 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 ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह मुहम्मदुर रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम. अल्लाह अल्लाह कैसा प्यारा नाम है, आशिकों का मीना और जाम है. अल्लाह जल्ल जलालुहु ताला शानुहु. अल्लाह 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 अल्लाह. शीरीन अस्तेनाब शीर व शक्कर मी शवद जानम तमाम. अल्लाह 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 अल्लाह. कुल्लु मन अलैहा फान ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. الله 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 الله. اللهم اللهم لك الحمد كله ولك الشكر كله ولك الملك كله وإليك يرجع الأمر كله. اللهم لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد كلما ذكره الذاكرون وكلما غفل عن ذكره الغافلون. اللهم كن لنا واجعلنا لك يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك منه نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذك منه نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وأنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم إنا نسألك حبك وحب من يحبك والعمل الذي يبلغنا حبك. اللهم اجعل حبك أحب إلينا من أنفسنا وأهلنا ومن الماء البارد. اللهم ارزقنا حبك وحب رسولك صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها فأنت خير من زكاها، أنت وليها ومولاها. اللهم ارحمنا بترك المعاصي ولا تشقنا بمعصيتك. جزا الله عنا محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم بما هو أهله. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله.